fun. Welcome to season 2, episode 11, I think, of the Bodhibros. I am John with a J.
And I'm Bhakti Ray.
And today we're going to tackle the topic of the top secret mantra that will bring overall elevation to your daily vibration and deliver you relentlessly, confidently, and lovingly to the shores of Abundance Beach. That's just me being silly, but in a nutshell, Ray, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about this mantra that I've been practicing, and you've been practicing too, right?
I have sigh. It's not easy. Continue.
Well, before we get into what the actual mantra is, I think there's some things that we need to explain, some things that we need to go over. Um, just like a lot of things, I think that, well, with spirituality, and a lot of times what we're looking for is transformation. We're looking for transformation from doing, shadow work, meditation, Reiki, all this stuff is, I think that's really what we want. We want some sort of transformation that we want. And to me, it seems like a lot of times we get lost in putting our efforts in things that don't really give us the most bang for the buck. We go looking for what kind of starseed am I? We end up looking at, you know, what was my past life, 3 lifetimes ago. Um, we end up trying to find that perfect crystal. It's like, if I find that perfect crystal and I hold it up on the blood moon on this date, it's all going to come. It's all going to come. It's all going to line up for me. So we spend a lot of time putting our focus in these things that don't.
Oh, I lost you for a second there, Ray. I thought you were just watching me reaching out, but I lost your audio there. Yes, Ray will be right back with us, folks. We have this temporary technical difficulty from time to time. But what I was saying is he was talking about crystals was these are all external things that are fun to grab for. Are you there, Ray?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what I was saying was these are all external things, the crystals, the past lives. Well, I should be reaching back that way for that. And um, the everything outside of ourselves. And today we're talking about something that's really very um, close to you and a lot more simple than that. Now these things are fun. The past life thing's fun.
Yeah.
Crystals, fantastic. However, today we're just talking about how to maybe if you're hitting a snag in the road, you've stumbled into the rivers of stagnation. Um, you just feel stuck, whatever. This is something to consider, and it's top secret.
Right.
But ultimately, buckets of abundance will be falling upon thee should
Buckets of
you
abundance.
decide to
Yes.
take on this practice. Are you kidding? We lost the audio again. Ray, is it that top secret? I don't know. I think the audience wants to know. But we're going to get there, folks.
Okay, I'm here.
Papa Ray's back. All right, Bhakti Ray. Look, man, I was telling the audience with this in and out, man. Like, is it that top secret? Like, I mean,
They're trying to censor us. They don't want that.
right, right. We don't want people to be abundant. Shut down the Bodhi Bros.
Actually, there are a lot of people. Probably is some people that don't want this out because this could ultimately lead you into a state of no longer seeking validation and no longer seeking. Because the seeker is part of the ego. We're always kind of seeking. We're seeking this. We're seeking enlightenment. We're seeking even seeking transformation as part of the seeker. We're seeking that try for fulfillment, and we're always looking outward. And that's part of the journey. That's part of the spiritual journey. Is the part of the seeker. Ultimately, all spiritual practices are meant to burn out the seeker. It's about taking you to that place of surrender. A lot of times there's a whole segment of spirituality that's pretty much geared towards trying to get what you want, trying to manipulate outcome, get what I want. That's a lot of it is that's what law of attraction, and a lot of people get into that because they read that like, oh, if I do this, I can get what I want. So that becomes sort of a strategy of the ego, you know. And a lot of times we'll say, we don't want to say, oh, I want to win the lottery, I want a mansion, because that doesn't sound spiritual. We'll say, I'm creating abundance. Or we'll say, I'm stepping into my power. But really it's just because we're trying to get what we really want. We're trying to fulfill our desires. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, sometimes we kind of BS ourselves out a little bit, and like what our true intentions really are. And we try to kind of masquerade that with spirituality. But anyways, so ultimately, yeah, ultimately if you do this practice long enough, the dissolver will the seeker will dissolve, because you will no longer be seeking and trying to fulfill and try to get that validation out of your external environment so much.
I, I
Um,
I can attest to that. In the very short time that I've flirted with your suggestion here, um, and that does make a lot of sense. And when you're ready to reveal, let them know so they know what the hell we're talking about, and then we can get more specific. Um, but I do like this practice for many reasons. In fact, it's going to um, change my approach for this year, which I normally do a certain thing that I'll get into in a few minutes, and I've mentioned before, I think on one of the podcasts. But anyway,
yeah.
we'll wait till the big reveal, Ray. What else you gotta tell us before we
Also,
drop the
too,
top secret bomb?
I think a lot of times we tend to neglect um, the simple teachings, the simple practices, and we kind of neglect that because we've heard them all before, and sometimes we kind of misjudge them. We think, ah, yeah, that's a simple teaching could be like love everybody. Oh yeah, I already know that, or so we sort of dismiss this, and we kind of our ego kind of wants to gravitate towards complexity, because we think the more complex something is, the more complex a teaching is, the more complex a practice is, the better, which is not really the case. I've always found the most profound practices, the most profound teachings are usually the simplest. And but that's just because they're simple doesn't mean that they're easy to put in practice.
True that. Woo!
And we could look at that in terms of other things like diet, for example. I remember when I lost weight a couple years ago, people were like, "Oh, how'd you lose the weight? How'd you lose the weight?" And I said, "Well, I ate less and I exercised more." And they're like, "Come on, what's your secret? There's got to be something else. Like, we want some sort of fad diet that's going to work, or we want to hear something about a diet pill or some sort of supplement. We don't want to hear do the fundamental stuff, do the easy stuff." And it's the same thing with like working out too. It's if you want to get stronger, you got to focus on the big exercises, the bench press and the overhead press and the squats and stuff like that.
That whole word diet, that whole thing, it's just not sustainable, man. None of that stuff ever. No, nobody. I mean, like you said, latest fad diet, latest fad work. Like no one ever stays with it because they're not designed to be long-term sustainable solutions. They're just not. And back
Right.
to your point, the things that are sustainable, the things that do work long-term, and I've seen results in myself. You have had results in your experience are, don't hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it, the simple ones. I mean, it's just
Right.
like I lost a shit ton of weight one time too. Same answer. I wouldn't even. I just stopped eating as much, and
Mhm.
I was walking. That's it. No, I wasn't like vigorously exercising. There wasn't cardio involved. Just walking, man. Just a walk. I walked everywhere, and and just wasn't eating as much. And I was doing more in my life. Like I was involved with certain projects and community and this and that, whatever. So I just I didn't. I ate when I was hungry, but I wasn't eating like emotionally or to fill a void or anything like that. But that was the simple answer. The simple answer was I just didn't eat as much. I didn't change really what I ate. It was just a matter of I filled different things in my life that were fulfilling me versus going to food.
Right.
And the only and really I was already walking and stuff, but I wasn't getting the results until I filled my life with a little more than just eating and walking. That was it. And it wasn't distractions or anything. It was just things to plug into. So simplicity, man, simplicity, sustained results. When you're real with yourself too, let us say that, because that was the part of that part of my life that wasn't sustainable, because I was plugging into eventually too many things and not myself, which is we're going to get to now eventually here in the top secret reveal. All the answers are here. And at the time, I was losing weight by I was grabbing things to do, and not some of them were definitely distractions, but not all of them. Some of them were very loving places to plug into and people as well. However, I was still running from myself, and maybe I was burning calories doing that. My God, I could definitely run from myself. But as the years crept on and the weight kept coming back, the question was, what am I? I'm doing the same stuff, man. I'm not, but I wasn't. I was filling holes of time with food versus doing things, but most importantly, coming back to myself. And that's what I've learned now, that my next layer of life, as I'm reaching my 47th year in the next few days, um, that I need to continue to embrace the simple things and the things within me, um, to help me, just be healthier. That's it. And to your complexity um, point, I, I think I was just trying to do too much shadow work. I was trying to do too much deep diving into some past stuff and healing emotional traumatic wounds, and all those things have a time and place, and it's helped me exceptionally well. But it was too much, and it was too heavy, and it allowed myself to not really. I think you can do that to a degree of abusing yourself sometimes too.
Mm,
Too much of anything is not a good thing, right?
right.
And so I think I've allowed myself personally to slip into that state of focusing too much on that type of work, and not some really simple things that I could do to take better care of myself. And as I sit here today during this podcast, where you already know, the audience doesn't know, I'm in agonizing pain right now because of some poor food and otherwise decisions over the holidays that have led to a potential gout flare up in my foot. But we knew we had to do the podcast today because we've already delayed it too many times since Christmas Eve. So here we are today. I knew this was an important one, and I've babbled on long enough. Right, back to you.
What this mantra is going to do is going to bring you a realization that life is always working towards your growth and expansion. Now, we may not always see it that way. Most of the time, we only see it that way when we get what we want, when we get to particular outcome that we desire. We say, oh, this is great. This is working towards my growth and expansion. But when we don't get that, we usually then, we judge. That's why we judge situations as good and bad, and we classify them as that. But this will help you see the realization, because we don't always see that too, because it's sort of like a parent. A parent loves their children by giving them what they want, but also loves their children by disciplining them and doing what's best for them. The examples, sometimes maybe a kid, might have like a sharp object in their hand, and the parent, comes over and rips it out, or the parent or the kid is climbing up on a table, and which is dangerous, and the mom or dad may, hurry up and grab the kid because they don't want the kid to fall. And the kid's only going to see it as, oh, you took my toy away, or you stopped me from having a good time. So though a kid will judge a situation as bad, but ultimately it was for your best. it was for your growth. It was for your expansion, because if you would have cut yourself, or if you would have fallen off the table, you would have suffered, you've been hurt. So I think ultimately, this is what this practice, this mantra, is going to help you realize. It's also going to cultivate faith. And the word faith gets thrown out a lot. Um, but faith comes from knowing. When you know that the universe is on your side and always there for your growth, you develop faith in the universe. You develop faith knowing, okay, the universe is always working towards me for my growth and expansion. I've seen examples of this now. I know this. Maybe something doesn't happen the way I planned it, but you know what though? The universe has had my back this whole time. You know what? I have faith in that. I have faith that this situation is for my growth. Maybe I'm suffering right now. Maybe it doesn't feel good. And I'm never telling, I'm not saying you can't be disappointed. You can't be angry at what happens. Let those feelings be. Don't resist anything. But you'll have that faith that it is for your highest good, and it won't really. It will kind of decrease your amount of suffering because of that. When you know it's for that. So this is what. So you will grow faith. And faith is a good thing. So let's get to the big reveal.
Are we ready? Without any further ado, we're ripping the curtain off.
All right.
We're dropping the truth bomb here.
The truth bomb is this mantra that's going to raise your vibration and wisp you to the shore of abundance beach.
Well, we like the beach thing. We also liked fucking buckets of abundance. That was cool.
Buckets of abundance. So this mantra is very simple. The mantra is thank you. That's it. Thank you.
For the drum roll or oh no, the
Thank you.
mantra is thank you.
The mantra is thank you.
Don't hang up, don't hang up, don't leave, folks. It's not
Let
a
me go back
scam, it's
into it.
not clickbait.
So
This
whatever life,
this is real. Oh my God, we lost. Look, my gosh, man, there's a lot of resistance here to this thank you thing. And Ray said that might happen. Let me explain while his screen is frozen. This just happens from time to time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You're back, Ray. You're back.
thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
So
So
whatever life
I
hands
was
at
I was saying that
yeah.
I actually wasn't saying much of anything. Take us away with thank you. Where did you get this inspiration?
whatever
Why did you
whatever
propose
life
this?
hands whatever life hands you, you say thank you. Now you may think, well, that's simple. That's simple, and it's very easy to kind of neglect this practice and think like, whatever. It's very hard to do. And I'm not saying you have to actually feel thankful for whatever comes your way.
And you won't.
But no, and you won't. You won't. I guarantee you won't. I say thank you probably at least 20, 25 times a day. When I do something, after something happens, thank you. Thank you. Because I know that it's always for towards my growth and expansion. What happens is that what you're doing is you're planting the seeds of unconditional gratitude. And I notice too when I say thank you, even when I don't feel the thank you, that there's a shift that occurs, that I kind of shift into the vibration of awareness, that I'm not so stuck in this situation.
Right.
It's almost like I'm able to kind of stand back just a little bit, like a little bit of a gap in my awareness between the moment and observing the moment, witnessing it.
Right.
So it kind of creates a little bit of space in there. And it kind of, when you say thank you, in there's a part of your awareness too that automatically kind of looks for something to be thankful for. Automatically, you say thank you. It's like, okay, part of your mind though is going to be like, well, what am I thankful for? And maybe it doesn't find anything. And like I said before, it's just like the parent that looks out for the child's safety. Maybe we don't always understand why the things happen, why the outcome happens that way. Um, this is our limited perception. Sometimes we don't always see the big picture. And sometimes it takes time for that big picture to develop. For example, I remember I got a job at a company, and I didn't find out till after I was hired that they were planning on laying me off. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I found out that they were planning on laying me off. I found out this almost as soon as they hired me at the end of the year, and I was like pissed because I gave up another job for that one. I kind of got hired on, and I was like, damn, and I thought, damn, this, why did that happen, And now I'm at the job I am now, which is a great job, pays way more money than the job that I gave up to go to the one that I got laid off from. If I would have went to the other job between the two, I probably wouldn't be at the job I am now. So at the time, I couldn't see why I would be thankful for that situation to happen. But it took like 2 years for that to occur. So everything is always working towards your benefit of growth,
And
towards your
so
benefit.
you can apply this. You're telling me you can apply this anywhere. I told you before we started the podcast here that from where I'm sitting right now to the couch is about maybe 10, 12 feet, maybe 10 feet, not very far. It felt like 10 miles to get here, man. Absolute pain. Every step, every breath, every beat of the heart was a dagger in my foot. Like, I was like, why are we doing the podcast today? Okay. You're telling me at that moment is an ideal time to say thank you.
Yes.
Please explain.
Well, I think maybe this could be a situation where it could lead to growth for you. Maybe the universe wanted you to slow down for some reason. Maybe the universe wanted you to acknowledge that there's some part of your life that you need to address and take care of by slowing you down that you wouldn't be doing any other ways. If you're on the go, 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 maybe you would just be stuck in the same habit that's causing you maybe pain that you're not really aware of. So now that you're having this, you have to slow down. You're acknowledging the pain. Maybe you'll address like, hey, you know what? There's something in my diet I need to change. Maybe I need to start exercising more on a regular routine, and this wouldn't happen. I don't know what that is going to be for you, but
And all very good points because I did meet it with thank you last night when the onset occurred initially, and today a few times. And like you said, there's varying degrees to this, folks, that you can plug this mantra into. You're not always going to be like someone brings you a gift or your partner does something really nice for you. And you're like, oh, thank you. And you take the time to say thank you with this practice in a way that's maybe even more deep than you normally would and maybe say some extra words why you're grateful for the present they gave you or the thing that they just did for you. That's one thing. You could also meet it with oh my god, I'm so much in pain. Thank you. Like you that's why I said it last night. I'm like, all right, Ray, here we go. Thank you. And you do if you're open to it and you're really doing it, even though I'm pissed when I'm saying it or I'm in pain or whatever, there is an awareness that will come in. There really is. And that eventually can change to an hour later, it could be like, thank you, you know. But you're not totally believing it yet still. You're like, this still sucks. This hurts, but thank you. And the answers do come in, man. If you're listening, if you're open to it, and it's a lot of times, especially when it comes to pain, physically, emotionally, or otherwise, it's the things that you don't want to hear the most. But that truth will scream at you, man. The first thing that challenges you, the first thing that pops up when you say, "Thank you for this. What are you? Why? What are you here to show me? Why is this pain here?" And that answer that pops you right in the face is usually the one that you should hold on to and spend some intimate time with. And yeah, you hit on without it being intimate to you, Ray. You hit on some things that definitely came up in
and
the
I think this is a good point right now with what you're saying is to give the big warning in this practice. This practice comes with a really big warning, and that warning is you're going to be tested almost immediately when you do this practice.
case in point.
Me too.
I started this when did we do it? Like a week ago?
Yeah, about maybe a little more than a week.
And at first I said thank you a few times a day, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like Ray said earlier, it's the simple thing. Yeah, I know. Just love everybody, love everything. Oh gosh, like, or like, people say like, oh, stop being hippy dippy or whatever, blah blah, and love is all you need. Well, you know what? Some of those phrases, some of those practices are really, really, really all we do need. And this
Right.
thank you thing, you warned me too. You said, be careful, it's going to test you. And I'm like, whatever, like I've been fires of hell
I
and back.
warned you. See, okay, this is what happens. When you start doing the thank you practice, the universe notices this right away. Now when I say universe, you could use, when you're saying to thank you could use this as, you could start seeing this as life. You could see this as the guru, the creator, source, God, or divine mother. But the universe notices this right away. And because what you're doing is you're building an intimate relationship with life. This is a yogic practice. Yoga means union. So what you're doing is this is a form of yoga, a form of union. You're building this relationship. Think of this as like kind of like dating, or so you could look at it that way. Now you start doing this thank you practice. Life's the universe looks at you like, oh, John's like thankful for everything I'm giving him, and then the universe is gonna be like, you know what? I wonder if he's really serious about me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, you froze again, but we got.
So the universe will be like, I wonder if John's really serious about me, or if he's just kind of playing. Because most of the time, like I said before, we sometimes we do these practices because we're trying to manipulate, outcomes instead of just being unconditionally grateful for them. So the
Right.
universe looks at this and is like, you know what? I wonder if he's serious about me. You know what? I'm gonna test him. I'm gonna see if he's really committed to me. I'm gonna throw this at him, and see if he's thankful for this. So life will be like, okay, how about I'll throw you this pain, and it
Oh,
is for, and it's for your growth. It's not anything different. It's just the universe wants to see if you're really serious. The universe wants to see if you're really committed to this, or you're just kind of playing. You're kind of playing her.
right. Not trying to hurt me with
No.
painful lessons, but giving me, and like you called it earlier, an opportunity for growth and expansion. And this pain is wretched, man. I would never wish this pain on anyone in this world, no matter how hideous a being they are, no matter how much of a, I never to anyone. It's that painful, like, and it doesn't go away. And
Hmm.
it's there when you're sleeping. It just slows down with the beat of your heart. When you get up and walk around, it just gets more intense because your heart's beating faster. It's horrible, but there's something there for me. And in the past, it was just like, why me and why this? And oh God, this is my life. And this, man, I haven't had a real like attack in a year. It seems like this happens to me in January because that's when I make my resolution or whatever. I'll get to that in a minute. But January is my month. Maybe I have trauma around my birthday. Who knows? I'm not getting into that subject right now. What I'm saying is I haven't really had I've had a few warning shots here and there, but nothing like this pain in about a year now, little over a year. And so, and as I say thank you, because Ray tasked me with that, and I love every one of these Bodhi Bros initiatives, and I commit to them as deeply as I can every week. Um, it I'd have to say it started off casual, and then when I did get a little more serious about it, that's when this happened because it was like, oh, okay, so we are going to do this. We're really going to do this, and I'm going to get you to a place of like, I got you, man. Now let's dance. And I'm there, and I can't dance right now, but like I'm there going, okay. And I've gone through probably about 15 to 20 different thank yous just today for this pain. Like I'll stop and I'll go, all right, thank you, and then listen, and just try to connect with it in different levels, in different ways. Not to make it go away, not to change it so I can walk and get better, but to learn and to grow from it. And like, look, seriously, I could go the rest of my life and never feel this again. But as I've been thanking the pain and just saying thank you to it and everything around it, I'm not asking for things to be better or I'm really committing to the practice. Like I am truly grateful. And like here's one thing I said thank you to: the couch. I said thank you to those because man, it was a comfort in the pain. I was like, you've been a really good couch, man. Like you have served us well. I did that earlier. I was like, thank you, couch. Thank you. And then thank you to the person that brought us this couch, type of thing. Just you know how it goes, man. The,
Now let's say you get tested and you show life that you're committed. You're committed to her. We'll just use her as life. I don't know.
okay.
So we see that okay, you're committed to her now. And she what do you think is going to happen in the relationship after that? After that, why would life really need to really throw you tests anymore or throw you curveballs? At that point, you're in an intimate relationship with life. And in this relationship that you're showing her this unconditional love, this unconditional gratitude, that's going to be given back to you.
Absolutely. I mean,
And
it
now it's
is.
like okay, you know what? John's okay with everything that I give him. Well, then maybe I'll just start giving him what he wants.
Well,
Because
yeah.
why wouldn't I?
And she told me, take better care of yourself. I've known this for a while. But like, seriously, this was the gift that said, this is going to get increasingly worse. This is another warning shot for you, Mr. Peppy Pants. Like, come on, dude, get it, get it. I'm like, okay. Got it. I got like, thank you. Thank you. Because when I do listen and honor from the place of gratitude, the message that came rushing in, I'm ultimately going to be much better. I'm going to lose weight. It's going to be less stress on my joints. I'm going to eat, even better food than I already do. I'm going to stay away from things that inflame my body joints and otherwise. And like all that is just really going to elevate my vibration in so many ways and make me an attraction to a whole different experience and people in that very simple practice, in that simple answer. It's not a special diet. I'm not taking any medication to get rid of a physical ailment or a lifelong
Right.
debilitating. They said once you have it,
So
you'll always have it. Blah
maybe
blah blah.
she's teaching you how to love yourself.
Yes, yes,
So and this could you could use this as like a game. This could be like a game, saying to thank you and seeing it as a relationship, seeing it as a her. Play around with this. I play around like I see. To me, this is like I make life like this, like it's a her, and I'm in this relationship with her, and she's life, and everything that she gives me, I say thank you. Oh, thank you. This is a so this is this a way to kind of play around with this is kind of seeing it as a relationship with life, and it's the most important relationship you could have.
absolutely. And look, you can make it even simpler. And to what I was talking about earlier, mysteriously, was every year for the last, I was like 8 years now. Uh, yeah, 8 years, right? You know this? I've done a one
Yeah.
word. So my New Year's resolution is a one word mantra. I'm going to do this, and then I do it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I give up or whatever. Make it very simple. One word. And you focus on that word. You breathe this one word into everything you do, and you breathe it into every practice that you have and every interaction, et cetera, et cetera. When you're happy, you think of this one word. When you're sad, you think of this one word, and it becomes your focus to help drive your life in my first 2 years. And I did the same one for 2 years at a time because it was that just when you think you get to be close to your word and understand your word and connect with your word and you're like, I know this word, man, you're just getting started. So you can go beyond 2 years with one word easily. But I wanted to get on to the next word because I'm a sampler and I want to experiment. Health, health, listen, listen, love, love. And the last 2 years have been mindfulness and mindfulness. And I thought 9 and 10 were going to be authenticity, right? Challenging myself to just be more authentic in every breath, every step, every relationship. And that's probably going to be there on the back burner. But I think what I'm going to do, because I always just embrace the flow of what's coming to me, is I can either use the word gratitude or I can break the rules of the one word mantra and make it thank you for year 9 and 10. I think that's a cool thing. It doesn't, by the way, folks, it doesn't have to be a one word mantra. It can be thank you or love yourself or whatever. But just
Right.
keeping it simple, um, and not cornering yourself by saying, I'm going to do this in 2021, like these sentences or these lists and these paragraphs. But one damn thing, man. We're tasked with so many things in this 24 hours a day life. It's hard to keep up with everything and all the places to plug into and the responsibilities. Why not make your resolution or your mantra real simple? So I think this thank you thing could work out really well for a lot of people.
There's also another powerful gift that this mantra gives you.
Stop. There's more?
There's more. And
But
this
wait.
mantra will dramatically decrease your anxiety. Let's say you have something coming up, like a meeting, you have to give a presentation, you have something important to do, and something that normally gives you anxiety. If you knew at the end of this performance that you were going to say thank you, how would you feel? You're like, I guarantee you, it's like kind of like looking in the future. Like, John, you know what? You have this, you know what? I guarantee you at the end of this experience with this pain, you're going to be thankful. It's like, okay, well, then what is there to really worry about? If I know I'm already going to be thankful for this thing coming up, then there's really no anxiety because it's all going to work out. You can't have anxiety for something that you're going to be thankful for
That's
at a time.
that's that's a good point. It's a good, interesting way to look at it. Like if I know, like this pain isn't forever, right? This present pain that's happening in my foot. So if I could sit here and say and truly be thankful. Wait, so you're saying so knowing that there's going to come a point where it's going to be gone, and I'm going to be like, wow, thank you.
Well, I not even that. Let's say maybe not. Maybe the pain isn't the best example, but maybe you have something coming up. Um, let's say I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know for you. I'm not going to use you as an example, but let's say you
Well,
have a
why isn't the pain a good example? Just
well, I kind of want to do something that you have anxiety about.
well,
So
that
you have
gives me
anxiety
anxiety.
about it. Okay, you'd have anxiety about it. Okay,
Yes.
or whatever. Something I'm just trying to use like more of a situation that you have anxiety that's coming up, like
Okay.
something
Oh, I see.
like maybe it could be a doctor, like you're going to a doctor for a checkup, and you're like, oh my god, I have anxiety because what if he's going to be, because you're scared of the outcome, or you have a job interview, or you have something, this whatever's going to give you anxiety coming up, some sort of thing coming up.
Well, yeah. I've been. There were times where I used to go to the doctor and stuff. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But let's use that because I'm very familiar with that. So you're saying I have a doctor's appointment coming up, and I'm like, oh gosh, she's gonna say that I have high blood pressure. She's gonna try to prescribe me these medications and blah blah. So you're saying after that appointment, I'm going to be thankful.
You know ahead of time that you're going to be thankful for it.
I know I'm.
You know you're going to be thankful for whatever's going to happen. So
Why?
knowing ahead of time that you're going to be thankful for whatever outcome happens
Yeah.
kind of alleviates a lot of that anxiety.
So why am I going to be thankful? I'm going to be thankful because that's my practice. That's my practice is that
Because after doing this practice a while, and it's a realization that life is always working in your benefit, always working towards your growth and expansion.
right.
Now, life is the thing. The realization is that life has always been working towards your growth and expansion, but practice will help you actually like see it, makes you actually realize it that way. So, knowing that I'm going to be thankful for something coming up that I would normally have anxiety about takes a lot of that away. It's like, okay, well, I'm not too worried about it. And the thing about this too is being thankful, doing a thank you practice. It doesn't mean that you can't work for what you want. Doesn't mean you can't have a goal. Doesn't mean you can't, strive for something that you want to achieve. It's just being thankful for whatever outcome occurs, you're thankful for. So work towards your goals. Um, have those things that you're planning for. Work for those. Work hard. Um, but whatever happens, you know you're going to be thankful for. Because really, how much this stuff is really in our hands, anyways? How much control do we really have over our environments and our lives? Not too much. I mean, some people have maybe a little more control than other people. Some people be more resourceful or have a little more power in some areas. But overall, you know,
I think it's a really good practice to slow us crazy folks down. Whether you're chained up to the rat race or not, whatever your life may be, I think there's always an opportunity to slow down. And I think what it does is it really helps you to be in the present moment, and to really bring awareness to a lot of things, man. If that's your reminder, like, hey, the thank you, I got to do that thank you thing. Like, something just, and something doesn't have to happen. You can just stop what you're doing in the middle of the day and like look around, pick something. I
mm-hmm.
mean, a billion things around you. Like right now, Ray, you could turn around and look at one of those many books on the shelf. You can look at the rhinoceros, the namaste. So you could pick so many things in your home, outside, whatever.
just
And
just my
just,
home itself.
yeah, yes. And just say thank you. And what does that mean? How does that feel? And sit with that. I think it's a great practice just to keep yourself in the moment. Like when people love to be thanked too, by the way.
Yeah,
Like and in a not just with the words thank you, but with stuff, sentiment attached to it. Like when you're going through the grocery line, and like, hey, thank you so much for your specific, your smile today. I love your button. It's adorable. Like what, or I'm a Star Wars fan too. Like people love that. It transforms their whole day when someone just
right.
takes a few seconds to show a moment of pure, authentic gratitude, man, and in a specific way. And not just the generic thank you is nice too, but I feel like a lot of times that's robotic, especially if you're in a retail environment. People are trained to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
It's courteous and yada yada blah blah blah. But really, in our day-to-day interaction with people, to start, and look, man, we'll just call this a once in a lifetime event. You may never see this person ever again, or maybe someone you see all the time. It doesn't matter. You never know if you're ever going to get a chance to see that person again. No guarantees in this lifetime. So why not slow down, be so grounded in the moment, and take some breaths of gratitude together, and really transform your day, their day. People around you even see that and can be affected too. Like they'll see an act of appreciation, or two people like just like melting into each other because they took the time and took the breath to say thank you. Like it's so easy, but it can go such a long way. And I gotta thank you, Ray, for bringing such another profound yet very simple thing into my path and our audience's path. Ray comes up with all these ideas. He just, whether he's meditating or whatever he's doing in his day-to-day spiritual practice and or otherwise, they come to him and he's like, I think we should do an episode on this. And I'm like, stamp, done, let's do it. And
Thank
it's
you.
always a gift, man. And this one is another one of those ones that I am going to officially take with me at least for the next 2 years. And dude, I gotta tell you guys, I'm coming off the heels of mindfulness. I didn't even scratch the surface of mindfulness. I feel I've miserably failed mindfulness, Ray. Like I look back, like, no, I'm just saying, just because there's so much more there. And
Right.
I'm like looking at it, waving, going, I didn't do you justice, man, but I'll be back. And thank you.
This practice will cultivate mindfulness.
Yes, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm thinking it is a very nice, chapter to spill into after those 2 years for sure. And that's why I'm putting authenticity on the back burner, but it's still there. I really do, because I feel like it's going to bring me more and more into the present moment, and that reminder, thank, like, okay, what's right in front of me right now? Thank you. These 3 books that hold up this laptop, and I can look at each one of them. They came from wildly different places, right? And that could take me on a whole different journey to some shores of gratuity, um, or gratuitous beaches, if you will. Fucking buckets of abundance, Ray.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
So this is, it sounds easy, but it sounds simple, but this is not a simple practice, because most of the time what we're doing is we're constantly pushing and pulling against life to try to get that outcome that we want, that desire. And this will take you out of a place of judging, good and bad outcomes. And it's like, okay, maybe, okay, maybe I'm mad that this happened. Maybe I'm frustrated. Maybe I'm pissed. And I'm not saying you have to bypass your emotions, but I'm just saying add the thank you to it. And it's like, okay, well, thank you. And like I said, you're cultivating gratitude and faith that life is always on your side, no matter what. And it kind of places you. I think ultimately what this practice will do will lead you to that state of surrender, where you're no longer outwardly looking for that validation. It's, where we go around life always trying to look for that fulfillment. It's almost like when you go to the grocery store when you're hungry. What happens when you go to the grocery store when you're hungry? You want everything. What happens when you go to the grocery store when you already had a big meal, when you're already full? You make choices still. You still put stuff in the basket, but it comes out of, oh, I want to experience this. Oh, this looks good. Maybe I'll try this. It's not coming out of like a desperation that you're trying to fill a void in you. It's coming out of a choice of wishing to experience that. Oh, yeah, that spaghetti looks good. That new pasta sauce looks good. Okay, yeah, I guess we could try that. It's not, oh my God, I'll have like $120 and everything looks good and I'm hungry. So ultimately, the path of thank you will lead you to that path of surrendering, letting go of the seeker, the hungry seeker, knowing that life's always working towards me. Everything I need is within me. And life becomes more like a play. Becomes more like a game that you're not trying to win. It's a game that you're enjoying.
So at the end of my 2 years, with thank you being my 2-word mantra, you're saying that I'm going to be thankful.
Yeah.
So I now have 2 years ahead of me where I'm anxiety free. Thank you for that gift. At the end of this 2 years, I'm going to be thankful that I did this for 2 years.
Yeah.
So thank you for that gift. This is winning, man.
This is winning. This is winning. It's being thankful for whatever life gives to you and putting yourself in a state eventually, I think, through practice of unconditional acceptance. And the end of resistance, maybe the end of relentless striving.
This all sounds really good, man, because look, January 14th, 1974, right? So this year I am the inverse of the 7-4. I'm the 4-7. My dad was born in 1947, and he's turning 74. So it's like a
It's a big year.
magical year, man.
It's a
Magical
big,
year.
yeah.
And I just really feel like 47 years, Ray. I never knew I was gonna make it. None of us know how far we're gonna make it or whatever, but whoo, I was a spunky young lad, man. There were times where 18 was a stretch. Like, I'd be lucky to make it to 18. Said the same thing about 21 and then 30. But here at 47, dude, there is I can spend all day just being thankful to so many different people, so many places, so many experiences. Just the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So I really think this is going to be a special 2 years for me personally. It may be a special 2 weeks for some of you out there that want to try this practice. It might be 2 months, 2 days. I'm just saying, give it a shot. This is our top secret 2 word uh, mantra challenge. Drop it like it's hot for a few weeks. See what kind of results you get. Let us know. Send us a message.
Yeah.
Would love to hear your.
Stick with it. Stick with it. Because like I said, you will be tested. I'm not saying it's gonna be tested anything seriously bad, like terribly bad, but you're gonna get tested. And life's gonna see, like, are you really serious about this or not? Are you really committed? So that's all life is testing, your commitment. So you could be thankful for that, because that's a sign that the universe is actually paying attention to what you're doing. So that's a validation right there from the universe. You ready
Ready
for
for the
cards?
test, folks. Be ready for the test. It's not to scare you. That's just to let you know that, look, when this podcast is over, it is going to be hell on earth walking back to that couch and replugging the laptop into the other side of the house. But ultimately, eventually this pain's going to go away. And I have learned so much in the last 24 hours just by saying thank you several different times in a multitude of different ways to it, to the experience, to the things that led up to it, to what's to come as I know in the wake of it all, because I have been through these attacks before. And I will tell you this, it's been a year since the last one. But man, when I came out of that, I came out of that like thunder on fire, because you're just so grateful to be able to walk again. You're
Yeah.
so happy to like just be able to breathe and be there for the people that you love again in the ways that they depend on you. And then everything just gets sharper, and you just the more. I'm not saying that everyone that does this practice is going to have some type of physical ailment or some type of explode. It may be something little. It may be something, in the heart, as far as a relationship or something. But it's going to be something,
It's gonna be
because
something.
you're basically you're turning on the switch, and you're saying, all right, man, this is the transformation switch. Well, maybe a better word than that. But this is the switch where I'm going to be open to knowing and growing. And sometimes they call it growing pains, but
Yeah. It's like any kind of new practice you take on. There's always going to be some sort of, you know, exercising. You're going to be sore. Diet. There's going to be hunger pains. And usually, whenever that is, it's usually you're heading to the right direction. I think.
yeah,
I don't know. It's just my opinion,
but no diets. Stay away from the diet.
but
We use a different word. Just
you know what
changing
I
the
mean,
way you eat, you may have hunger pain.
right?
Right. Right.
You ready for the cards? I got a new deck.
Yes. Ray's
This is
got a new day.
called True Heart Intuitive Tarot by
Rachel True.
Rachel True.
Bring it.
I got this. So, got some nice cards. Here's the, oops. Yeah, it's nice artwork. So I'll pull a card for the collective.
Excuse me. Did a little burpee there. do, 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 do,
Ooh,
do, do,
justice.
do, boom, boom. I don't know anything about tarot, so I don't know. I can't speak on what
I'll
the
read this.
justice card typically
This
means.
is nice. This one comes with a book instead of having to look it up online. So give me a couple seconds to look this up.
Yeah, take the time. So justice. Think about what justice means to you, folks. What that image, if you saw it on the screen, quickly reflected, how that affects you, and intuitively allow yourself to be open to both Ray's message and whatever other messages the theme of justice might be bringing you,
All right. Okay.
or dumb.
Pulling the justice card means that tarot has a message for you. Your current situation is a direct effect of choices you've made and how you've been carrying yourself vibrationally through life. Whatever energy you're experiencing correlates to the energy you've previously put out. You get what you give. The justice card is more reactive card than an action card. It's a reaction to what is, a reflection of the past. There is nothing you can do about what has already happened except respond to karmic justice. The scales will always balance themselves out in the end. On this card, justice stands effortlessly on a sword's edge. Only by perfectly balancing truth and fairness do they remain unscathed. If you pull the justice card, it may signify human justice and the legal system, which is another matter entirely. Some who pull this card may be dealing with a major decision or legal formalities. Be fastidious with details and make sure everything is on top, on the up and up. This is not the time for risky or dangerous behavior. Assess. In relationship dynamics, some may be experiencing a deeply felt balanced connection. Shared respect, love, and appreciation should not be taken for granted. Others may feel unhappy in a current union. Acknowledging this can open up a dialogue that creates a better vibe. Consider others when making judgment calls and treat them as you would like to be treated. It's time to ask yourself how the current behavior would be weighed in a spiritual court. In professional life, justice denotes things moving smoothly and proper credit being given. If you're putting the work in and keeping your energy positive, but not seeing the results that you want, hang tight. Cause and effect will come into play. Continue to be impeccable in your actions and intentions. Trust that things that will turn out your way and people who wronged you and those in low vibration will have the answer when it's their turn. So a lot of it's kind of cause and effect, things balancing out. Um, what do you think about that?
Yeah, man. When you started reading, I went like this. I was like, your current situation is a result of choices that you've made, um, and all that stuff. Um, yeah, I think it goes hand in hand, like the picture, with our topic today of just saying thank you.
And I think also another benefit of doing this thank you thing, this thank you practice, is that when you say, let's say you say thank you for something and you accept what happened as for your growth, it puts it puts you in a state of acceptance. So what you do is it puts you more in a responsive mindset rather than a reactive one. Because either we could be where our power comes, our free will comes from how we respond or react to a situation, whether we react out of acceptance or we react out of resistance. When we resist what happens, when we're in a victim mindset, we create karma. We act out of resistance. Well, that wasn't fair. So I'm going to lash back out at you because of this, because I'm not thankful for this action that happened. It shouldn't have been this way. Where something happens to you and now you say thank you and you recognize it's for your growth.
Right.
It's going to come, the actions that the responses kind of come from a different place.
Yeah, it's the more and more I think about it, listen to you talk about it, it's an absolute disintegrator of resistance, man. I mean, it's like
Right.
you can meet anything with thank you and truly mean it and be open to what that means, and instantly a conflict, a pain, I don't know, a difficulty, some any even good things too, right? Uh, You could just see how that it would just like spill open into more of that, or a a bigger understanding of it. And whereas you're trying, like, if you're doing this with the resistance or whatever, when you say thank you, it does this instantly, man.
Right.
And like you could see so much more and hear so much more. And I think that's
Right.
a lot of times how enemies can become friends too.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
broadens your awareness.
yeah. I mean,
Sure.
and you know, how often do you hear or see of the tale, or personally experience one of walking up to one of your enemies, I use this word loosely or whatever, but and saying thank you? Man, how what a twist of the tail that would be. I mean, where could that take you? Like saying, and but really meaning it, being open to what comes from that too. Like
Yeah.
as difficult as that practice may be, but saying, being thankful for that person's presence in your life, and that,
And you could kind of tell too when you still have work left to do. Like if you can't forgive somebody,
yeah,
it's hard to say thank you to that.
yeah,
So you can kind of notice where you feel resistance in saying thank you. It's like, okay, well, maybe I still have, some forgiveness work to do in that. So, and I know there's situations where like it's hard for me to be totally thankful for still because I'm
yeah.
still
And you
looking.
don't. I think also, like, on the subject of that enemies thing, they don't have to be present in front of your face and or in a dangerous way where you feel like you're putting yourself in harm's
Oh
way.
yeah.
They could be on the other side of the world and you're sending gratitude,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be via method where they see it either, but you're putting it out there, and it gives you a greater understanding of them. And it could even be a relative, or if you don't have a good relationship with your mom or your dad, you could start that way, with saying thank you before you even grace those spaces of forgiveness and stuff like that. Maybe that's the way to, if one day you want to forgive someone for something but you can't quite get there, you don't know how, maybe you start by saying thank you.
It's like I feel like almost thank you is almost like saying another way of saying I love you.
It opens such a book, man. Not
Without
even
really
a
saying
book,
I
it
love
opens a
you,
portal.
because saying I love you to everything and loving everything, sometimes that those words it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Where saying thank you is kind of like it's easier. It's a little easier than
Oh yeah,
saying, but it really like a thank you is really is a true thank you. It's basically almost saying I love you.
I think so.
It's just a different way of saying it.
I think so. And we're a group that gets, I'm saying group, we're a species that gets hung up on semantics and stuff from time to time. But yeah, true to that, man. Thank you, love you, almost synonymous.
Yeah, they're almost interchangeable.
But people struggle with it. Like, oh my God, he finally told me he loved me. Can you imagine the same conversation between two people going, oh my God, he finally said thank you? Like, what a dick. You guys have been together for 2 years. He just now said thank you. But the love thing, you're right, has such a weight to it. So maybe you start with thank you, and that helps you with the word love or the thought of love or whatever, or
I think
open
it can kind of open that
portals.
door.
What's that?
That it could open that door to the heart, that
Yeah.
initial door, and kind of get that little okay. Now the word love can come in, but maybe that thank you needs to come out first.
Absolutely. So I think it's both. It could be a disintegrator of resistance, but it can absolutely be an incredible just catalyst and opener of worlds as well. Like like I said to you real quickly because I was looking around, the three books below the laptop here that hold this up, right? Saying thank you to each one of those books just instantly opened up three different worlds to where I was when I got the book, who was with me, and like just a really beautifully nostalgic period of time in my life. And the fact that two of these three books I haven't even really cracked open and read yet. Like, thank you for this literature in front of me that I still haven't gotten to because I have so many books around me, this abundance, right? And
This whole bookcase and all these books were given to me by a friend.
wow.
And I have crates more. I have like couple like the big plastic crates. I have two big overflowing crates full of books that like, they couldn't even, this couldn't all my books couldn't even fit on the shelf that he gave me.
Wow.
And he moved to my friend Sean, who he was a good guy. He moved to Alaska. He obviously couldn't take all these books with him, so he's like, "Here, you could have them all."
That's a gift I gave my brother for this past holiday. I was just lightening my load because I have so many books, and he's building a library in his house. So I was like, so I gave him this huge box of like old like collectible, like really old books that I've been holding on for like 30 years. I've had them. I mean, like like my entire adulthood. I would sit there, yeah. Because when I left, I was 17 when I moved um, from my parental home. I graduated school year early, so 17. I'm 47 now, so 30 years. Man, I've been collecting books for 30 years, and I bought a lot of them in the beginning of that time. I have no bills, this and that. I'm 17, 18 years old. I'm like, I want to buy some books for my house and make it look cool and stuff. And up here in Central Florida, we had all these wonderful antique fairs and old bookstores and stuff. And so, yeah, it's books, gratitude, thank you. See, it opens worlds, man. It opens and you can, and it's not like you said, man. When things come up, things come up. You don't bulldoze or bypass or anything like that. But you can really take this on a trip, man. This whole thing, it's not like I'm just positive. I'm all positive focus. I'm all positive focus. You know, someone passes away or something like that. I'm not going to say thank you. It's like, yeah, well, obviously you grieve and you know, you do the things.
Maybe you're thanking them for being in your life.
Right, right, right. You're not thanking them for dying, like, thank you for the experience. I just lost,
Right.
my parent or my
Or
spouse
maybe
or
if they were,
whatever.
or maybe if they were suffering a lot, you could be thankful that they no longer suffering if they were, in a lot of pain.
Right. So, just to recap, folks, we're not saying it's thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. No, nothing negative, nothing negative. There's going to be lots of things to deal with, and then there's going to be lots of pain. There's going to be lots of suffering, lots of joy. There's going to be lots of happiness. There's going to be all the things. If you allow all the things, and then just be thankful for all the things because they're all the things, not good things, not bad things. They're just things.
Right. All things come and go.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you,
Bhakti
John.
Ray, if you will. It's been Bhakti Ray for a few weeks now. I'm still just John with a J, hanging on for dear life over here. How do you like the sweater, man? You like it?
I like that, dude. That's sharp, man. I like it.
My partner got it for me. Thank you to my partner for this very comfortable sweater. We get to wear them in Florida like 2 or 3 days out of the year. That's it. So happy New Year to everyone out there. Or crappy New Year, whatever you want, folks. It can be happy, it can be crappy, it can be sad, it can be glad, it can be all the things, and hopefully it will be an assortment of things, and
Just say
you'll
thank
allow
you.
all the things and be thankful for them all. So how about instead of Happy New Year, crappy New Year, just say New Year! Exclamation point, because it is one. 2020, 2021, potato, whatever. They're just numbers, folks. Make your life what you want your life to be by starting with these simple practices, loving yourself, loving each other, saying thank you, one word mantra, two word mantra. Whatever. Try the simple things. Get.
Hey, didn't you say this is episode 11?
This is episode 11.
I think the card I pulled was number 11.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Perfect. Look at that. Boop, boop. It would have been cool. It was 4:13 over here, not 4:11, but that would have been neat.
Oh, wow.
It was 4:11 2 minutes ago. But anyway, I digress. Thank you to our audience, our watchers, our listeners, our supporters, our likers, our commenters, everybody. We wholeheartedly appreciate all of the support, and from just hitting the like button to sharing or telling a friend, all those things are measurably appreciated. And we look forward to doing this every week. It pains us when something happens and we can't, quite literally and figuratively. Um, so today was important to make it to 10 feet from the couch to get here with my buddy Ray so that we can talk about things. And we had another epic pre-podcast talk where we joked about, man, this would have been a great podcast. So who knows how this transforms and transitions from week to week. I'm sure our post podcast is going to be equally hilarious and enjoyable, and maybe one day that material will be available, but I doubt it as we talk about some personal shit. Anyway, my one of my greatest parts of the week is just having the chance to talk to my friend Ray, who's on the other side of the country,
Thank you.
and we're in the middle of America, wherever it's cold where he is. Let's just say that. It's definitely cold there right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cold here. It's like upper 30s.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I'm here in a sweater and it's like 68, 69. Us Florida guys.
Actually, not that bad. Upper 30s is actually not that bad.
Right. You're having a Sunday. It's you're probably wearing shorts. Maybe not that.
Yeah, 68. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got nothing else. Ray, you got anything?
I'm good. Just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for our listeners, our subscribers. It means a lot to us. Wish you the best. Remember, justice. Be mindful of your actions. What goes around comes around. Cause and effect. All that good stuff.
All right. Next week we'll be talking about, I don't know, and neither does Ray, but he'll let me know. And then you'll know. And together we'll all know. Sounds like the beginning of the end of G.I. Joe. All right.
All right, guys.
Till we dance again. I'm John with the J.
Bhakti Ray.
See ya.